Today, we'll examine a massive herbivore that is unquestionably. The Southern White Rhino is among the world's most majestic beasts. One of the most sought-after species on every game drive is the Southern White Rhino. There is no better sight than South Africa to witness these extinct armored herbivores, which is home to 93% of the world's chimpanzees and more than 80% of the rhino population, overall white rhino population in the South. Thank you for visiting KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well. Today, the Southern White Rhino may be found throughout Kenya as well as the rest of Southern Africa. However, it wasn't always like this. They were believed to have gone extinct in the late 19th century due to excessive hunting. Fortunately, a tiny population was found in Rhinoceros Park in 1895. Throughout KwaZulu-Natal, less than 50 white rhinos could be found in the wild at the time. But because of the incredibly effective wildlife conservation initiative in the 1950s and 1960s, Operation Rhino, there are currently between 19,000 to 21,000 of this species worldwide. The late Dr. Ian Player was substantially in charge of starting this research. Rhinoceros Park's southern white rhinos were moved to national parks and reserves. Wild populations were developed in certain locations around southern Africa, where they had previously been hunted practically to extinction there. One of the most effective conservation initiatives ever is still considered to be Operation Rhino. They prefer to go about with their heads bowed and have a noticeable bulge on their back. During the hottest part of the day, you can frequently find them lounging around after a day of rest or feeding. Only the tips of their tails, eyelids, and ears are covered in hair. They are effective lawn mowers because to their huge, square mouths. Of the two rhino species in Africa, it is the largest. It is the world's heaviest species of rhinoceros. Baby rhinos weigh only 40 to 60 kilograms at birth, and males are somewhat bigger and heavier than females. Adult females weigh 1,800 to 2,000 kilograms, and adult males weigh 2,300 to 3,300 kilograms. They weigh 1.5, 3 to 4 meters long and 1.8 to 1.9 meters tall. In the wild, they have a lifespan of 40 to 45 years. Due to the shape of its mouth, the white rhino is often referred to as the square-lipped rhinoceros. To protect themselves and their young from predators and other rhinos, they utilize their horn. Men utilize to fight and subjugate other males, they use their horns. Additionally, rhinos lead their calves using their horns to dig for water and to forage. Keratin strands are squeezed to form their horns, the same primary substance found in hooves, feathers, claws, hair, and nails. Women employ their horns to prevent predators from harming their babies. There are two horns on white rhinos. The largest and first horn is about 60 centimeters long, but with age, it can get much longer, and their second horn is much longer, smaller than the initial. In several reserves and national parks, there are efforts underway to fight rhino poaching. In order to avoid becoming targets for other rhinos, rhinos now have their horns trimmed every year or two. Poachers, despite the fact that it helps prevent rhino poaching. To display, males need horns, making it very difficult for them to challenge or combat rivals because of their dominance and need to defend themselves. Males. Rhinos' ability to protect their lands or social standing may be weakened by rehorning. It takes a long time and is invasive to dehorn rhinos. It needs a group of trackers to find and dehorn a rhino. Rangers, vets, and typically a helicopter are used. Additionally, the rhino required to once the animal is immobile, anesthesia can lead to consequences that could result in death each time a rhino is darted and rendered immobile. The risk also rises. The price dehorning a rhino costs about $1,000, making it an expensive technique to fight rhino poaching. Poaching. Unfortunately, just around 7 centimeters of the front horn and 5 centimeters of the back horn remain. Even after being dehorned, rhinos are still vulnerable to poaching. Rhino horns in South Africa can sell for up to $6,000 per kg on the black market, in addition to 5 to 10 times that cost on the Asian black market. Their native environment includes bushveld and savanna grasslands. Rhinos can run at rates of up to 40 kilometers per hour, which is incredibly fast for their size. They run far more quickly than a typical person, but can only run short distances. In the wild, they have a lifespan of about 15 years, and poaching is the main cause of mortality for them. The white rhino is a grazing species that grazes on huge plants with its enormous square-lipped mouth. Large amounts of short, green grass. They are just grazing species, as opposed to the main sources of food for black rhinos, which are browsers, are bushes and trees. White rhinos must hydrate huge amounts of water to digest their diet and, if possible, prefer to drink twice daily. These enormous animals wallowing in the mud near waterholes for a large amount of the day, to relax on vast grasses and cool off. Additionally, these mud baths shield their skin from the bug and sun. They primarily live in female-dominated herds or crashes. Crash sizes can reach 14. Animals. Adult males are solitary and take delight in building massive heaps of dung to identify their feces and urine. Along with splashing urine, males often scrape the ground and brush their horns against shrubs. Humans are the main and only predator of white rhinos. Young rhinos have tough skin and live in close proximity to their mother, which indicates that predators rarely prey on them. White rhinoceros adults have white rhinos have no natural predators, and assaults by animals are extremely rare. Males mature sexually between the ages of 10 and 12, whereas females do so between the ages of 6 and 7. The gestation period for females is roughly 16 months, and they only reproduce every 2 to 3 years. The first 2 or 3 days after giving birth to a single calf are typically unstable for the mother. Rhinoceros males are referred to as bulls and females as cows. And a herd or crash refers to a collection of rhinos. Calves are the young of a rhinoceros. According to the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, the southern white rhino is rated near threatened species. Despite the fact that their recovery is one of the biggest success stories in conservation, recently their population has started to decline due to rhino poaching, which is still a severe threat to this species' survival. Only 2 mature females of the severely endangered northern white rhino remain, both in captivity and descended from Sudan, the final male northern white rhino, who perished in 2018. The good news is that early this year, successful embryos of the functionally extinct northern white rhino were artificially created in August 2020. Sex was implanted and transferred into a southern white female surrogate. Unfortunately, the procedure didn't work out. If the researchers are successful, it will be the first time a nearly extinct mammal species has been revived. Observing these enormous monsters in the wild is an incredible experience. You merit many more years of freedom in Africa's bushvelds. I sincerely hope you liked this film about the southern white rhinoceros. I would be happy to respond to any inquiries you may have in the comments section below regarding rhinos. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.